Alright, a wonderful good morning everybody and welcome back here to my channel, God Shadow, bringing you Grixis Control. And we finally have access to Kroxa or THB in general on Modo. Therefore, it's always a little bit difficult, like once they release a new edition or set, it's really difficult to get cards, because I don't know if the only cards being induced into the format are those that are being bought and drafted on Magic Online, or if they have other ways to also, I mean treasure chest, sure, if they are already included, but yeah. So new cards, pretty expensive and pretty rare in the beginning. But I managed to get two Kroxas. That's also currently the only card that I really want to have, I think. So overall, let's start with the mana base here. I added a Graven Corns, of course, to get the escape cost more easily. I hope that it doesn't hamper us in other ways, with Cryptic Command, for instance, or in the beginning of the game where we need to have double blue or something, but we're not as blue heavy anymore as we used to be. Therefore, I hope that that works out fine. We're still playing 3 islands. Yeah, we shall see. I added Fatal Push, although people think that I hate it. I don't think it's the greatest card, but especially in the beginning of a new era or a new metagame, people are playing more aggressive decks than they typically are. So I'm expecting a lot of burn, I'm expecting a lot of creature decks, and against both I actually want to have Fatal Push. Thought Scour, of course, now that we're running Logic Knots and Kroxa and other stuff, I just need to have more cards in my graveyard. Also a reason to add Fatal Push here, to just have more cheap removal in the beginning and to fuel our own graveyard. Then here's the value: 2 Jaces, 2 Kroxas, 4 Snapcasters. Kroxa now also our main win condition for the most part. Then I added Liliana the Last Hope, and that has 2 reasons. On the one hand, recently Modern has become really grindy. Excluding Titan decks, everybody is really grinding to the finish line, or maybe Mono Red not, but yeah. So all the Stoneforge Mystics, all the banned lists that are now probably replacing Oko with Uro. Uro also pretty cool design card, I think. So yeah, and against those lists, on the one hand they are playing a lot of 1-toughness creatures, on the other hand I really need to keep Ice Fangcoil off the battlefield, because on the one hand, it's difficult to interact with once we have a Kroxa on the battlefield, we need to kill it, and by doing that, mostly don't want to get down on cards. And then of course, Liliana is also a good win condition. Without Oko, it's one of the better planeswalkers in the format again. And yeah, 4 Kolaghan's commands and the typical cryptic command stuff. And again, like, we could be playing Archmage Charm here, but on the one hand I can't really afford to play Mystic Sanctuary in the board now, or in the mana base. And Cryptic Command also being able to just tap creatures, because Kroxa doesn't have trample, and so sometimes we will just have to attack normally, and I just want to be able to tap my opponent's creatures if they have any. So then the sideboard, Grim Lavamancer for creature decks. Could also put in Plague Engineer, it depends on whether or not we're actually... Yeah, since we're already utilizing the the graveyard so heavily, I'm gonna pivot to Plague Engineer here. Then Magus of the Moon, because Amulet decks are gonna be a problem. And now with Kroxa, we just... I think we're enough of a mid-range deck to potentially also cut the cryptics entirely, and then just go for the mid-range approach and beat them to death. Then there's Collector's Brutality, because probably a lot of burns gonna be running around. I do want to have Grixis Jailer for two reasons. On the one hand, as I said, people are gonna play aggressive decks like Dredge, like Crabvine, whatever. On the other hand, though, all these escape mechanics, so if people are actually trying to utilize escape in modern and or brewing a lot, then Grixis Jailer is also good there. And of course, at that point, we probably have to get rid of Kroxa in our own main board, or side it out. But as I said, like, we can also just recur it with Kolaghan's command and deal additional, basically 5 damage in that cycle. So that's the deck for right now. Let's jump into a league here. So yesterday I actually intended on already recording a video with Grixis, ended up not being able to get the cards, and therefore just played Alright, so we really need black in this hand. I'm gonna keep because the hand itself is pretty good, and if we manage to get a black source, then we're off to a good start here. Directly running into a Junt deck. Nope. 4-color Junt. 4-color Death Shadow, apparently. So Grixis Death Shadow was the worst performing deck at GP Austin overall, with only 35% of the games or the matches it played won. Yeah, which was probably not too surprising. So hopefully our opponent does have a very disruptive hand, so that we actually get to find a black source, 1 or 2. Goif. Alright, now's the time. Perfect. So I think I'm gonna go... The problem is the island here. If I had played the mountain before, which I of course didn't want to do with the cryptic command, then we would be able to double spell here and go with Kroxa and fail push. Now that's not possible though. So I think I'm just gonna go, so that we can do it next turn, I'm just gonna go with terminate. Alright, so I expect him to have a Drowning Loch actually here. And I think I want to try and get the Snapcaster down first. If I... Oh man, that's gonna be weird in terms of mana. So I probably have to go black here. Then also tap a blue source, play the Snapcaster Mage. And if he counters here, then we do have a fatal push to hit the Death Shadow. I thought so. So I'm gonna say let's hit ourselves for the sake of Kroxa and hopefully finding another land. That would have been the black source that I wanted. Stubborn and all. Alright. That's why I just hate Thoughtscar. I just hate it for that very reason. Alright. Yeah. Gonna discard the cryptic command, I guess. Because if I draw a land, I definitely want to play Kroxa. My goodness. Yeah, this is not working out the way I hoped it would. Alright. So now we can actually play the Kroxa. Problem is that Liliana will of course kill it, but we probably can return it afterwards as well. So this has to be double black. And I should have probably played the... So this one goes, this one goes, this one goes. Fail push terminates, all good. That one goes as well. And lightning bolt I could see as well, so the other cryptic goes as well. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, so did have a removal spell anyway, which means he can't do anything about that. Yeah, but this means that should have just played it. Should have just played it. Anyhow, yeah, black, thank you. 1, 2, 3. Actually, if he does do the thing with Liliana, although I don't think he can, let's fetch forward this one as well. One, two, 3, 4. 5. So can't take the Liliana up anymore. And apparently that was a land that he had in hand, and therefore... Well, Kroxa never got to stick it on the battlefield, but was still pretty good there. And for the next time, I should definitely just play the build whenever I can on the Liliana. So... Cryptics 8. Liliana Lasso, not the best here. And I guess Cryptic Command is also not great. So we're gonna go with Plague Engineer with Fulminator Mage and with Magus of the Moon. Yep. Why do I do that? On the one hand, of course, he's playing 4 colors, so we can get rid of some of the important colors, of course. On the other hand, though, as we've just seen, he's also playing quite a bit of removal, and therefore, if possible, I would like to have other creatures on the battlefield so that Liliana doesn't hit my Kroxa. Dismember is actually pretty bad against it, so that's the reasoning there. But already game winning here, dealing 9 damage essentially. Escaping a couple of times, so that was pretty good. Although it's possible that at that point we just can't be playing Cryptic anymore. We'll have to see how that works out, but the mana base with islands and Graven Corns is really atrocious. Yep, I think we can keep that. Also, here we already have islands, and therefore Magus of the Moon doesn't hurt as much anymore. Probably taking another Thoughtseize, I would assume. But got an Inquisition, therefore it's actually pretty good. Goif Shadow. Let's see. So I guess the players take Death Shadow, kill the Goif with Drown Loch. And then we just have to deal with the other Goif at some point. Which should be alright because we're playing 6 of these and we probably can take a hit off of a Tarmogoyf. There's Craven Corns, which is also good. But again, we have that one island so that for the most part it's really difficult for us to I'm just gonna play out the Jace here. So the next turn we have Drownloch, Jace on the battlefield, and a Snapcaster Mage. So he's still got a Stamping Ground. He potentially also does have yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Steam Vents. And now it doesn't really matter what I do here in terms of, yeah, it actually does. So just in case he has removal, because he has 2 cards in hand and he didn't play any of them. So let's say he has Stubborn Denial and removal here, and was just waiting, but what would he be waiting for? Jace 2. Yeah, so the rationale here is that he would have already went after. Oh shit. Well, we can discard the Kroxa and then have. So drown. Then remove. And of course he knows about our Logic Knot, which is a little bit painful here because that will cost us a little bit of cards in our graveyard for Kroxa to escape with. But yeah, I definitely either have to change up the mana base or I have to cut the cryptics. That is. On the other hand, though, we also always have to play a couple of basics, therefore we can't really get around that anyway if we want to maintain playing. So this is 5. We could have. Yeah. So what is that? Return target creature card from a graveyard to your hand. Huh. That is not anything that I would want to happen. On the other hand, though, if I let this resolve, then I have to. Yeah, I'm gonna let this resolve because I will have to exile a card less from my graveyard to Logic Knot. Although it's probably gonna be a Death Shadow. And then we're trying to do stuff here. Although, honestly, it's a 5/5 for now. We could shrink it down to a certain degree. Could bring in Kroxa for as a 6/6. Move to 3. Then with 3 in our graveyard. Fetch land wouldn't be enough. No. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so let's have a look here with the Snapcaster and see what's going on. If he does have removal, that's fine anyway. I'm actually going to keep the Craven Cards in hand. Ooh, okay, that's not great. Graven Cards in hand. The only way I get punished here, it would be a Liliana taken up instead of down. Scrying 2 is not too bad as well. Okay. So now we attack. Then I go bolt him, and then we have Jace to bolt again. That should do it. And also, therefore, like we're sacrificing the Jace here, which goes to the graveyard, which also means that we will be able to play Kroxa here. And that would probably be better anyway if our opponent had a creature on the battlefield. Alright. So first game, a little awkward, but still won there. Kroxa performing very, very well, I want to say. So let's head on to the next one. Alright, welcome back everybody to another round here with Grixis Control, Kronos Control, as I like to call it. And it is Dredge. Pretty sure. So we're gonna try to snag the Hegel, apparently not. That's actually a pretty good hit for us. Despite the fact that we're probably not gonna win this, because it's basically impossible. Game 1. It really is difficult. So I want to be a little bit careful with the way I fetch here. Probably should have done that with the Polluted Delta, because he's playing the Merchant now, right? And we will have to kill it. And I would expect a lot of Dredge running around, because that's actually good against the Tarmogoyf decks, which I actually think is one of the best right now. But probably, well, alright. It's just 3 to my face. I think I'm gonna counter this. I could, of course, also let it resolve. And then, he's got the other Creeping Shield still in hand. Just play Snapcaster here. try to counter whatever is happening next turn. I think one of our best win conditions here is actually Jace ticking up. So I'm gonna try to do that actually. So I'm gonna counter this. Yeah, we're trying to actually tick up the Jace and not win through. Common means of interaction. So I'm gonna discard the logic node here so that we have good targets for our snapcasters. And then the cryptic command at some point will probably have to just tap draw. Okay, nothing really sticking out here, so we're just doing a little bit of pressure. And there's going to be another steam vents, and then okay, it's also not the worst. Narcomoeba. Right, so Jace can keep that in check, but all the price demograms are going to be a problem, therefore we will have to start using our cryptic commands this turn. And he also does have access to life from alone next turn. Do want to get rid of that. So he's got 35 cards left in his library. Our Jace ticks up to 9 next turn. We will probably be able to protect it unless he finds another Conflagrate to kill the entire team. That would suck, of course. So I'm hoping now that, I mean, he's probably going to use Life from Alone Conflagrate here. That's interesting. So if we draw a bolt, might actually be able to kill him. So he discarded the Creeping Shield. There are 3 more Creeping Shields in his deck. K-Command or Lightning Bolt next turn, and no Creeping Shield here right now would get us there. Okay, so that's not a Creeping Shield. I assume that he actually has, yeah, he has the Forgotten Growth in hand. Therefore, okay, Snapcaster Mage, not the worst. Yep. Okay, still no chill. So we have a lot of outs here to actually kill him this turn. Unless he goes with a cave again and hits a chill. Which he doesn't do. Alright. It's on, motherfucker. It's on. Come on, deck. Give me that sweet Kolaghan's command. Yes! Motherfucker. Alright. Cool. So Plague Engineer, Kalitas, Jixlet Jailers, Magus of the Moon, Brutality. We're just bringing it all in. This one out. Liliana's actually not too bad. Cryptic Command, I'm gonna cut. Jace on the draw, I'm also gonna cut. Kroxa is also not the best, both in terms of ability and because I want to have a Jigsaw Jailer on the battlefield. Therefore, yeah, we're going with this. But yeah, Cryptic Command still just a very good card. And I honestly don't think that we should keep this. There's a Jailer that's looking better overall. So Fatal Push, probably the card that we can cut the easiest here, right? Other option would be the islands, but we do have two Kalitas that I want to be able to play. Therefore, this is gonna go. Alright, let's start off with the Scalding Torrent, just in case a Fatal Push is coming around and I need to get like a Blood Gas or something off the battlefield. Okay. Okay, Conflagrate and a Creeping Chill. Two Creeping Chills. Sure. And he has a Nature's Claim in here, so chances are potentially he's not going to be able to deal with the Jailer. Also, he doesn't have a Black Source yet, so hopes are up. Yep. So so far so good, I would say. And now I'm just gonna keep up counter magic as long as I can. Countering just random stuff. Because he definitely needs to find some solutions here. That's actually also not too bad. I can get in another Jixla Jailer. He, on the one hand, has to find more lands in order to hardcast stuff. On the other hand, needs to find solution for our jailers. Yep. Okay, that's apparently what he was looking for. Gulgarituk. Yep. Have it. Shall we? Puts it into a hand, right? On top of the library, sure. Actually, yeah, then I'm just gonna put it to the graveyard. And potentially bring in a third Jigsaw Jailer. And then next turn we can attack for 9 without having any cards that we're fearing right now. It should be difficult for our opponent to get rid of 3 Jigsaw Jailers and a Kalitas here in just one turn. But apparently he has a plan. Well, that can't be the plan. Could have also just played Liliana here. Doesn't really matter though. A swift 2-0 against Dredge. What the fuck? Alright, I'm gonna be back with round number 4. Alright, welcome back here to another round. We'll have to mulligan. This is kind of okay. Just gonna go against that one. Alright, Devoted Devastation here. And he already has the combo in its entirety in hand. I think if we take the Walking Ballista, that would actually take away his ability to win the game here. And Eldritch Evolution would require him to do something else first. And we have the ability to also kill a turn to Devoted Druid. So kept to 1 lander, right? Am I right about that? So now next turn is again the turn where I have to decide on whether or not I want to save a little bit of life. Yes, he actually did. Alright. And go with the Kroxa mana or just don't. So, not bad hits here. And the Lightning Bolt in hand is also a good backup, of course. Okay. Yeah, but on the draw, I do think that that's actually fair. Might have just let him have the postmortem lunge to kill him outright after he uses the Phyrexian mana. But we have lethal next turn anyway, so he has to block. And Horizon Canopy, of course, doesn't help. Yeah, so can't actually do anything here. He has to block, and then if he uses the Horizon Canopy again, he dies. Alright, so pretty easy game one here, due to the fact that our opponent was stuck on mana a little bit. And now we actually have to be very, very careful due to Horizon Canopy. But due to Veil of Summer being a thing. But we're pretty overloaded with removal here. I'm actually going to cut the Lodging out because he's probably got enough mana, or more than enough mana, to do stuff. And I think I'm going to cut one Kroxa instead of one Jace here. Siri, nope, not you. And the reason being, of course, that on the one hand, they're playing Path to Exile. On the other hand, Kroxa doesn't disrupt their combo. And yep. Alright. Got a fail push. Hopefully draw another untapped land here. Because I assume that we have to use the fail push turn 1 to kill something. Yep, still doing that. He could be stuck on, not on mana in general, but on white sources, for instance. Okay, that's not the case. Bird and Forge Tender. Huh. Yeah, I probably still want to go with the Torpid Tapped here, because these two don't do anything on the board. Okay. And then next turn, he's got 4. Okay, so he's drawn a land. This is a sorcery, so if he doesn't do anything, we're gonna take it. Escalate with 2 modes, minus and reveal. Should I go after the Forge Tender at this point? No. Since we've cut a Kroxa, I'm not going after that right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm going after the Forge Tender. Okay, so opponent's basically out of everything. And oh my god. Although, yeah, it's okay. We can handle the Ranger Captain, and we can also handle the other two, so. Still a little annoying that we killed the Beretta Forge Tender and then he draws the only 5 mana play that he has there. Probably, potentially. Okay. So for one more turn, like in his draw step, I want to kill the Noble Hierarch and make him discard. And then we're going to kill the Ranger Captain. We're down to 8 life though. I'm doing it this turn so that he can't silence us for the next turn. And we do have a counterspell. Ranger Captain, by the way, very undervalued right now, or in general, since it's Inception. I'm gonna let this resolve because it tells us what he's going to find. Shall I? Fair. So we can't have Shall I and a Veil of Summer up. Not yet, at least. And if he's playing anything else but a Shall I, then I'm gonna go with a K command. Yeah, and at this point, it's difficult for our opponent to come back. Chameleon Colossus. Well, that has protection from green, but from black. But what it doesn't do is protect it from counter magic. I guess that should do it now. Chameleon Colossus is a good card though. Oh yeah. Alright, so this is kind of a break in between the other video where some things have worked out, but overall I wasn't really happy with, on the one hand, the mana base, because we couldn't get on Cryptic, and we also, even if we went down on CMC and played Archmage Charm, we also wouldn't have that online quite frequently, and therefore I wanted to just jump in and change a couple of things in the same video to have a comparison and for you to not have to wait for another video to come up to have a second iteration. So now here we have a little bit less interaction in terms of Fatal Push. I also cut Jace's Prodigy. So Kroxa in this iteration is basically replacing Jace. But I put in Seasoned Pyromancer, which of course is pretty good with Kroxa in general, because we can just ditch it, get a token for that, and potentially also find the lands or whatever that we need. And the most problematic card here for us was, the biggest problem was to get double black and double red. We usually don't have problems with finding double black, but we don't play too many red sources. Therefore, I changed the Gravencorns to Cascade Bluffs to then be able to play Cryptic Command more reliably, because I really think that's necessary, as we've seen in a couple of games from the last league. And yeah, Liliana Last Hope still on borrowed time here. I think she's great right now. Also performed well in the last game, but still. And then there's Brazen Borrow. There is Noble Obstructionist in here because we're pretty grindy in everything else that we're doing, and I want to have some stuff to still counter triggers. But this could also be, like, depending on how this goes, these cards could also be some combination of removal spells plus the new counter spell from THB, which name I just can't remember. So that also counters abilities and also counters spells, so that is actually quite cool. Let's jump into a league here and see if this is actually going better in terms of the mana distribution. The last league I lost against Eldrazi, and I just flipped, so I deleted that video because he was turning 2 Thought-Knot Seers into 3 Reality Smashers the first game, and then the other way around, 3 Reality Smashers into 2 Thought-Knot Seers the second game, and that was just something that my ego couldn't take. And the other loss here, against what was that? Can't remember, but that was quite unlucky. I think a 2-1 loss. So, join. Probably have to get rid of the Magus of the Moon. Go with 2 more Fulminator Mages. Okay. I think we can keep that indeed. With pretty good mana here. Also with this hand and a Cascade Bluffs, we would also be able to play Mystic Sanctuary as the first play. Alright, let's see. We would be able to play Kronos. So that is not a whole lot that he has going on here yet. So next turn we're probably gonna go So part of me wants to take the Outrageous Charm here, because that is likely the card that will be able to counter Liliana. It looks like blue-white control here, which I think is a reasonable choice right now. Really do. So I'm gonna play this. And he needs to find more lands, and he also needs to find counter magic. And he put a core on top. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna say let's see if he did find something, because he could also just be playing the Snapcaster Mage, of course. In these kinds of matchups, the Terminate is way worse than a Dreadbore. Oh, it's Blue Moon. Then we actually have to be way more careful with what we're doing. Um, Good thing is that Liliana checks. Snapcaster Mages. And now don't want to shock here. I would like to shock due to the Kolaghan's command, but I think it's better for me to maintain a little bit of life here, since we do have access to a variety of things anyway. 2 drone loss and or. But he does have a little bit of an awkward mana base for a Blue Moon deck. Like Sofa Falls doesn't really interact well with a whole lot of other things. I'm not doing anything against the Snapcaster because I want to get value out of my Liliana. Currently we sadly cannot counter the cryptic commands. Another Snapcaster. So a reason here to not let this resolve would be the count of cards in his graveyard. But I think it's alright since we can go Kolaghan's command and make him discard a card as well. Or just terminate, of course. And this turn around, I'm also willing to go after the Snapcaster Mage here. Because a bolt would of course kill my Liliana. Okay, put a card on top, so he wanted to draw whatever he just drew. So we know one of the cards in his hand is a Blood Moon. If I go... He could have a counterspell, of course. But I need to do something, and I can't fetch for black anyway, so... Okay. Interesting. So in this case, I think... I mean, Liliana was pretty good there, but for the most part, we probably don't get the down, her down. So, I'd like to have... Actually, Plague Engineer, all of our opponent's creatures are wizards. No, Brazen Boar actually is a rogue, right? It's not a wizard. A couple of basics here. Yeah, it's a fairy rogue. It's not a wizard. Second Kroxa. Not super great. And we definitely need more lands. The good thing is that Seasoned Pyromancer, in theory, can actually... can be cast through a Blood Moon, so that's a good hedge there. But Tar Pit and Warrior Grave, we are losing some sort of lands here. So I guess this is gonna be Mystic Sanctuary. Getting that one back. Brazen Boar. It's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna do it in his turn. We do have quite a bit of removal, and right, if he chooses to do something against this, then that should still be fine. So I'm not gonna fetch for a third. Third one of those, just go with a Water Grave to double black here again, despite the fact that we would need double red here. So he can counter this, I don't really care. But should we at some point get it onto the battlefield, then I assume that our opponent would have a big problem. And this doesn't actually make a difference. Like him countering, like I would always let that resolve, I think, and then just discard a Spell Snare. Never mind. We're having spell snares for days, apparently. They're gonna be another Augmage's Charm. No, it's gonna be a Brazen Borer. Yeah, it's got a lot of counter magic. Pretty sure about that. And he's playing the Augmage's Charm here because he has to get into the bin first in order to Mystic Sanctuary it again. I do not expect a third Spell Snare. That was a third Brazen Borer though. That is weird. Okay, so I really need a land now. Great. This could have also been a Dreadbore. And I guess the card that he put on the bottom was indeed. A red source or a black source. Something to that degree. So he's just going to use Spell Snare here, and therefore I'm fighting a lost battle, so we can also just go ahead and try to counter this Snapcaster. In the hopes of getting down our Seasoned Pyromancer next turn, potentially. Alright, so yeah, this is somewhat problematic. Alright. Terminate's gonna go on the play. I want to have Lydianos again. Actually, could be going with Fulminated Mage as well. Good. Guess we're fetching this for source. Cascade Blast, no! Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna play the Snapcaster Mage here. Fetch for a Blood Crypt. On the one hand, due to the fact that we have 2 Kolaghan's commands in hand. Yeah, we're just pressuring him with our Snapcasters now, I think. Let's see if he also lets this resolve. No, he isn't. Deprive, alright. So this means that our Pyromancer does definitely get through. And my K commands are also just gonna die. No, I'm gonna keep 1 K command and discard a land. Alright, well deserved. Unless, of course, he's coming in with the Blood Moon right now. That would not be super great for us. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Playing the Blood Moon here. But that would stifle his ability to go with Archmage's Charm, I assume. Okay, declines to put Deprive back on top, which means probably does have enough counter magic. Just needs to find a solution for the rest of this. I actually don't want him to discard a card. Don't think that this will get through, of course, but just in case. Why does our opponent have 6 cards in hand though? We got 1.5. Alright. So obviously, killing the Seasoned Pyromancer does only half the job. I'm not playing around the Blood Moon anymore. I'm just trying to... Also, like, Moto doesn't tell you... Well, I'm fine with that, actually. No. Yeah, with these cryptic commands, just Moto doesn't tell you what's going on. And this is probably gonna run into a spell snare. Yeah, sure. Of course it is. Come on, no more lands. Put a core on the bottom. Interesting. Should not be able to counter this. And now we're attacking him. Next turn we can replay the Kroxa, which is pretty nice. Which means if he fetches here and then he's lethal on board, he's dead on board, I mean. Not lethal on board. We have lethal on board. And I would assume that it's unlikely that he does have the second spell snare in hand as well. So he needs to discard a card or take 3. And then next turn he's most likely really taking 3. Plus, as I said, like fetching also puts him in range of a lightning bolt. So next turn is going to be difficult for our opponent. Alright, discarding the Jace. That is alright. Goes down to 3. Interesting. Needs to have a cryptic command up. But that also means that there's no Blood Moon coming here, I guess. Nimble is actually good from a couple of perspectives here. I'm really curious how he plays this. Because he needs to tap our Seasoned Pyromancer and the Elemental. But then he probably doesn't have a counterspell. Alright, cool. See you in round number 2. Alright, welcome back to round number 2 here. I haven't seen Uro yet, which is quite weird. Also, no Ice Fang Walls whatsoever up until now. including both this league and the last league, and the league that I played with Death and Taxes yesterday, but did not record. I did get Shadow Spear though, because I think that is actually a card that I would want to have in Death and Taxes. Weird hand, but on the draw. I think I'm going to keep it. And we're playing it. Some sort of Mystic Sanctuary deck again, alright. Well, at least we have the mana for it. If it's Blue Moon again, that would be very annoying. I should probably already fetch for basics here, right? We do indeed have a couple of counter spells. And as is... oh, alright. Alright, it's not Blue Moon. Thank God. Well, let's Bant something, but that's annoying as well. This deck is probably playing Aurora, right? Okay, just blue-white control. At this point, that's probably confirmed. I think I'm still gonna target myself here, and not my opponent, with the Thought Scour. Reason being, for the most part, that I want to hit Kroxa. Alright, this turn we're still gonna be laying low here. Next turn I'm gonna play the Inquisition and then double spell. To see what's actually going on. Cast out. Alright. Opponent looking for lands here. And that is actually pretty good. Couldn't find anything here. Not even gonna fetch. Gonna fetch an upkeep. Well, that worked out great. Alright, so let's Inquisition him. Force, logic not snap. Well, the snaps aren't gonna be super great for the foreseeable future, but the rest won't be either, so I think I'm still gonna go after Snapcaster here. And then we only... Alright, getting back the Archmage's Charm, sure. I do understand that. My goodness. So there is basically only a Black Druid left to fetch here. And I assume that my opponent's also playing Field of Ruins. Therefore, I'm not fetching any more basics. So now we got a Cryptic Command plus something. And if he draws another land, then he's probably going to be able to go with Jace. Yeah. That is not going to happen though, of course. So I'm going to play the Drown Loch here to then counter the Logic Knot with the Cryptic command and then be able to go with Kroxa in our turn and still have my Logic Knot up to counter whatever he's planning to do. Alright. No, and I also don't care. So, Kroxa incoming, which is great. And we still have a Cryptic command up, which is also not nothing. And yeah, done. Yeah, you can't force negation this, so that's great. And that's gone, that's gone. So we know 4 out of the 6 cards in his hand. And he needs to find a solution, probably the Snapcaster Mage plus the Path to Exile here. Ooh, a Mana Leak. So we still know what he does have in hand. Problem being that, of course, he has Force of Negation to protect the Snap. But since he wants to do that in my turn, I'm fine with that. I'm just gonna Thought Scour myself. There's another Kroxa. Alright, so let's jump on in here, friend. Yeah, you need to do something, right? Sure. So I could be countering this, but I don't see why I would. Because the Snapcaster Mage on the battlefield doesn't do anything. And this, okay. So he's got a Cryptic command still up, of course. And he could also go with oh, he also has a Logic Knot. Yeah, alright, this makes it a little more difficult. Then I probably have to wait for the next turn to do stuff. Force of Negation itself doesn't counter the Kroxa. And Logic Knot is actually, is it even good here? Can put it for 5, 6, 7, yeah, that's good enough. But let's still go after the Cryptic here. Not the Jace. Lucky you, friend. Lucky you. So I'm gonna go with the Blood Crypt here and play it untapped. Then Lightning Bolt that thing. Because it's mana redundant. And then go Cryptic here. That should do it, right? So now Kroxa is on the battlefield, which he just can't handle. 1, 2, and then I need double red. Go. So 1, 2, 3. Oh. 5. Yeah, Kroxa is insanely strong. So I think this card is going to be really great in Pioneer. I guess he's going to discard Force Logic not over Force of Negation. That's interesting. That is interesting indeed. Shit. Third Jace. Yep. Oh, we got the Nimble. So Kroxa is staying on the battlefield. And the Jace dies. For the most part. Snapcaster and Creeping Tar Pit. Yeah, this is 2-turn clock, therefore I'm just gonna go after him and kill the Jace in his upkeep with the Kolaghan's commands. That should be good enough. Yeah, still good enough. Arrivederci, my friend. So it looks like he might have found a counterspell here. Otherwise he would have probably... Snapcaster, even better. And that's not gonna save you. Okay. So mana-wise, I really have to say, like, the Cascade Bluffs here, way better than the Kraken cards. So he has to keep the Path of Exiles in his deck. And he's also not playing too many basics, right? So I think I'm gonna get rid of Liliana's. Fulminators are coming in. Terminate's gone out. And Magus. So, of course, with Mystic Sanctuary, I think they're playing 3 or 4. They only have like 6 basics left. That's the same amount that we have. But he probably isn't fetching for them in the beginning, and he also does have... Yeah, I'm going with the Magus here. Might be a little bit risky, but... Okay. Yep. Hollow Fountain, already a good one for us. So I don't care really about the Creeping Tar Pits as of right now. I'm gonna Thought Scour myself. Or do I want to Thought Scour him? Also a possibility, of course, especially if I can hit basics. But still. Kroxa and a Snapcaster. So worst case scenario next turn, if we're fetching for sure, that's not that big of a deal. And another basic. Let's say that's interesting. So we could indeed go with the Magus of the Moon here, but I think we're waiting for one more turn to play the Kolaghan's command, try to get back the Snapcaster Mage, which I do not expect would happen. Would or will happen. Turn and discards. Okay, it is happening. That is weird. Why is this happening? I guess this means that we're waiting a little bit more, because our Snapcaster Mage still provides us with value. We do have cryptic commands to utilize first. Okay. Probably declines it, right? Puts it on top, okay. Yeah, let's go for it. This guy time I'm gonna Thought Scour him, if he lets me to. Put the Opt on the bottom. And potentially just grow his graveyard for, yeah, Opting. Cryptic is good. Did have a path there. But now, of course, we do have Kroxa up. And we also do have multiple ways of going after his mana. So let's see. Just in case this works out, I'm gonna go with an Amulet here. Okay. Yep. Which is fine as well, because we're just getting all the basics that we want here. And then I'm just gonna pass. And next turn, we have enough mana to go with multiple threats here. So this could be, we haven't, no. Resolves. Okay, that's weird. I think I'm gonna discard this and this. Get a token for my troubles. Have a nimble up, which is quite nice. So he's gonna path my Seasoned Pyromancer. Do I want that? No, I don't. Just gonna counter the trigger here. Thoughtseize is not bad. We have another one, great. He's going for an opt instead of the path. Okay. Oh, he targeted opt last time as well. Well, that I should have read that. Rest in peace. That's problematic. At this point in time, that is very problematic. So I'm gonna block with my Elemental, but not with my Pyromancer. I think that we can raise him if we want to. Let's have a look at his hands. Shouldn't be too much going on anymore. And we have multiple ways of going or getting in with record on top. Interesting. I don't think there's a counter that he can actually have here. Summary dismissal. Interesting. Alright then. So we're getting in a Fulminator Mage. Attacking with the Seasoned Pyromancer. Now I'm really happy that we have 2 Torpids on the battlefield, because even if he's finding a Jace or something, that should not get him too far ahead. Oh, that is pretty good though. That's just a trigger. And he casts it, of course. So we're going after that. That resolves. Ooh, yeah, Drownaloch, of course, very, very, very bad here. But we have a 2-turn clock, so hopefully that's good enough. Finds the 4th path there off the top. That is quite annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Alright then. Alright, easy 2-0, still rocking against blue-white control, and here, of course, I actually liked the additions of Seasoned Pyromancer and Noble Obstructionist, so yep, that's it for round number 2, and let's meet again in round number 3. Alright everyone, welcome back to round number 3, and I just spent an hour at the doctor's, and for the first time in I think 3 or 4 months I'm able to actually turn my head to the right all the way. So those of you who were with me for a bit now already knew that I had a little bit of a problem with my spine last year, and although that's getting better, I still had some motoric dysfunctions and had to take care of that. So overall I'm pretty good, but I'm also pretty destroyed, like everything hurts right now. So let's see if that diminishes what we're accomplishing here. I'd like to play first. Alright, I think we can keep due to Spibel of Canal giving us access to a variety of spells here. Watergrave, Thoughtseize you. And that's gonna be a turn to Thornonseer. Either that or a turn 3 Reality Smasher of a Cavern, so we won't be able to stop that from happening. Unless he's playing some sort of, yeah, creature here. Which is actually pretty good. So, I think I want to go after him. Mary Shapeman Once Upon a Time, that's a good hit. We also got another land here. And the Cavern of Souls, of course, does not account for Eldrazi anymore. And therefore, Counterspell wouldn't be bad. Not a Counterspell, and sadly also not a Black Source. Well, it is a Counterspell, just not one that we can play. So he's got Reality Smasher plus Ancient Stirrings here. That's of course pretty darn good. But he might be opting to play the Thoughtseer here before he's playing the Eldrazi Smasher, Reality Smasher. And he is indeed. Which is good because I'm not gonna show you my hand, bitch. So hopefully we're drawing another land here. Any land's good. Oh shit. Ah, darn. Alright. So we're getting Kroxa into a graveyard. Which we have to do a little bit awkwardly. But still, should we be drawing a land here next turn, then that might still be alright. Black Source. Because we're taking 9 this turn, which puts us to 6, and therefore we could block one creature or one thing. and take the other. Unless, of course, he's just coming in with a Reality Smasher next turn then. If we had drawn these cards in a different order, that would have been way better. Sadly, that wasn't the case. So Plague Engineers coming in. I think I'm gonna cut the Nimble. Doesn't have too many good things it can do there. 4-minute mages. And the rest is probably alright. I'm gonna cut 1 Inquisition for... No, I'm not gonna do that. And that's really surprising. This is the second red-green Eldrazi deck that I'm playing against in just 2 leagues. Which wasn't to be expected. I guess you have Once Upon a Time and you have Ancient Stirrings. And therefore you basically never fail and can keep every 7 cards ever in the history of Magic. So the Scalding Torrent needs to be a Blood Crypt. We're playing only 2 Cryptics right now. And I want to be able to play both Kalitas and Kronos. Sometimes I'm a little sad that WotC always comes up with new names for creatures, mythological creatures. And I also want to have a set based on Kaldheim, which of course would then feature Northern mythology. Because I can see like Thor or whatever, definitely black-blue color scheme. Yeah. Feels like this might be a turn to Eldrazi Thoughtless here. Don't see an advantage there to shock the Water Grave, just in case we're drawing something else that's good. Alright, Matter Reshaper. I'm still gonna kill it, although Kalitas would, in theory, be pretty good here. Grafticus Cage, not a concern of mine right now. And next turn we can play the Kalitas out already. It's also great. So I guess this is just gonna be a red. Domri. Doesn't do a whole lot here, does it? Okay. Okay. So I guess we're attacking the Domri and then kill. Yeah, we should probably still go after the Grafticus Cage, just in case we draw a Kroxa. Also now we actually have Kroxa available already, which is great. Oh, another Tomry. Sure, I guess. So he's certainly waiting for a fourth land here, or a fourth anything to be doing something. And I'm not sure if I want to go... No, I'm gonna save my spell here. And it paid off. It's also so crazy how many cards there are that just say, or just read, counter target, or can't be countered. It's like so many right now. What's your really hates control decks? A lot. Alright, so I think the Plague Engineer here goes on Druid, since that's also what he named with the Cavern, and it's possible that he has more than just a Noble Hyrax. Alright, so let's kill that first. Get a token off of it. And draw a card. Thoughtseize, don't care. Actually, yeah, if you want to take my Lightning Bolt, that's fine as well. And for this reason, I want to keep the Inquisitions in. Because he's just... Oh. Yeah, that is... By itself, that's a good hand. That's not a Druid, though. I hope that we're gonna be a Druid. Reality Smasher. So I'm gonna do this for just the Thoughtseize, so that I can... Well, it doesn't really matter, he's dead anyway. Alright. So overall, I like the boarding. I'm not sure if I want to Cryptics at all. Because he is playing 4 Caverns. And maybe a Magus of the Moon or a Seasoned Pyromancer is just better. Yep. I think we're keeping. Liliana can take care of the 1 toughness creatures, of which our opponent is actually playing a lot. Okay. Ancient Searing's better for us than a Manador here. So, let's see. Sure. Okay, a little bit too many lands here. So this is going to be a watery grave, I think. Another ancient stirrings, my goodness. Reality Smasher. So I just hope that our opponent does not have a cavern in hand. That would be really bad for us. So we already have double black here. We also have access to double blue. Come on, no cavern. Good. Eldrazi Obligator. It does have haste. So we could be countering this. I think we're just letting it pass. And Noble Hierarch as well. Yeah, now I'm just gonna counter that. Which of course isn't great in terms of creature value, but I also don't want him to have the 5th land here off of our or us not doing anything. And it is possible, of course, that oops, cannot play the Reality Smasher. Plus next turn we will have a counterspell again. Okay, so this is gonna be a Reality Smasher. And I assume it's going after Liliana. Drowning Loch is pretty good. Because that means also that we can go with playing Kroxa here. I cannot discard, like I have to discard the Thought Scour. So that I have Cascade Bluff still next turn. So this and this. Once upon a time. Sure. It's also possible that I just discard the Snapcaster Mage instead of the Thought Scour. Or just take it here. Could also just take it. Because our Kroxa definitely outgrows whatever he's playing. And he also will have to discard another card. Well, if you're not doing anything, then I'm gonna go after that one. Oh, Season Pyromancer is also a pretty good draw here. So this is double red. Black, black. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. So now we do have a 6/6 on the battlefield, and we're still at 7 life. What is that? Oh. It's the 1-2 punch. Sure. That wasn't bad. And now... Oh, you still have to discard something. Alright. Cool. So, we could be playing the Snapcaster. Could also be disc... Yeah, I think the play is play the Snapcaster. I mean, we could just draw 2 cards, right? But it doesn't have trample, therefore I probably want to have a couple of minions. Minions. Yeah, I can still do that next turn. It's probably not worth it. We're taking 2 more damage here off of that thing, which is a little annoying, but can't be helped. Alright, just a Ghost Quarter, which is amazing for us. And we do have another Kroxa. And we're going to utilize that Kroxa to fuel our Season Pyromancer. Because I'm not as interested in having Cavern, sure. So what do we really die against here? A Reality Smasher off the top is of course close to just being lethal by itself. I think I'm just gonna go after the Noble Hierarch here to fuel the graveyard. That's still not enough. And I actually have to keep Season Pyromancer back. To not just straight up die to a Reality Smasher. Okay, that's not too bad. Any playable card here. Alright, that is actually perfect. Plague Engineer is also not too bad. So we got black, black, red, red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. So now we're good against a lot of stuff, and I won't be attacking. I won't be playing the Plague Engineer here for the single reason that I don't want to be dead to a Lightning Bolt. Oh yeah, there's actually a card. Oh shit. No. We could die against it, Eldrazi Obligator. That is actually something that could happen. Yeah, alright. Shit. So what's more likely? Him finding a lightning bolt off the top? Slash Bloodbraid Elb into a lightning bolt, or Eldrazi Obligator. That doesn't even make a difference, right? No, it doesn't. Since it's an on-cast trigger, it doesn't have to enter the battlefield here. Yeah, he found it. Insane. Insane. That is absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. That is insane. Well, that's pure luck. Yeah, that's pure luck. Can't do anything about that. Potentially should have played around it, but because even with the Plague Engineer, we wouldn't have been able to discard to the attack trigger, and therefore we would have died anyway, since I would have had to fetch down to 1. Yeah, this is just pure luck. Pure and golden luck. Maybe I should have waited for 1 turn. No. It's all good. I think I played it correctly. Alright, welcome back here to round number 4. After a very unlucky loss there in round number 3. And even talking about it, like, of course, at that point I already attacked when I started thinking about what we had to play around. So if I had thought about it a little bit earlier, then I could have potentially, I don't even know if I would have done it, but I could have just kept back the Seasoned Pyromancer and a token to have 2 blockers and the Plague Engineer in hand. Excuse me. To prevent that from happening, but it's also so unlikely that I don't know. I don't know if I would have played around it more than I already did. I could play around the lightning bolt, play around, you know, can't play around everything. But still, I actually liked the matchup a lot. Looked like we could easily beat Red Green Eldrazi, even with a decent hand. So a good mana base here for Kronos, and therefore a keep. Yeah, once upon a time, actually a card that hasn't seen a whole lot of play. Last time around, once upon a time with an Aethervial deck. That is strange indeed. And it is some sort of spirits. Okay. So I guess we're going after the lords here. To, on the one hand, be able to counter stuff with the Nimble. That seems awkward in that show. It does seem awkward. Right, so that's gone, that's there. So if he did draw, I'm gonna go with the Polluted Delta here, just in case he drew a Selfless Spirit, not a Selfless Spirit, a Mausoleum Wanderer. which he did not do. And hopefully also he didn't draw a third land here. That is great, because then we get to put Kroxa into our graveyard. Could of course also keep Nimble up, but I don't see why I would do that right now. Like we could counter an Aether Vial or a fetch land trigger. Oh, a company. Alright, also no 2-drop. It's Rainforest. So I can't cast Kroxa yet, but I also don't want to cast Kroxa yet. And therefore, I'm gonna do this. He's gonna Aether Vial, which I'm gonna counter with the Nimble. Of course, getting the fetch land here would even be more beneficial for us, but I think that's good enough here. Because I want to find a removal spell so that I could also counter the Spell Queller trigger, of course. That would just be a 2-3 that's in play. But I think I want to keep it in hand as of right now. Obviously, there's at least going to be one spell that is going to be caught. Now let's see. Yeah, I can counter that due to the fact that the Selfless Spirits do not get up to that point. 3, 4 should be enough, and then we still have enough in our graveyard, although I should do it differently. Okay. So this forces his hand, and then I'm gonna let this resolve. Bounce the Spell Queller, or attempt to bounce the Spell Queller in his upkeep, which will then force him to play the other spell queller, and that will have or get us our Kroxa. Free. Okay. So we should be, like, if it doesn't draw a Lord, we should be faster than he is. Red, red, black, black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Because he's attacking for 4, we're attacking for 9. Moorland Horn is pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie. But he can't discard. I think I'm just gonna try to find another land here and finish things with Snap or Terminate. Would also be alright. The good thing is that with us attacking with Kroxa, he cannot really keep stuff in hand at all whatsoever. Which means he also needs to have something to flash in here right now. If he uses the Vial, then I can go in response and use the Kolaghan's command. Oh, we're just gonna kill these two. Yeah, and he knows, like, even if we didn't have anything to tap his team here right now, he would be dead because Kroxa and Creeping Torpid here together, plus the Kolaghan's command, is definitely lethal. Tap, all creatures your opponent control, draw a card. Yep. Time's up. Cool. So I definitely want to have Plague Engineer in here. Season Pyromancer is probably not the good or the best card here. Collective Brutality over Thoughtseize. And then there is Kalitas as well. Actually, let's put in the Thoughtseizes again. Take the Cryptics out, since our opponent probably also has some sort of Veil of Summer or something like that. And overall, it's just pretty good to interact. With spells. Yep, skippable. Should be enough if I've just fetched for a black source here, since the Spy Bluff Canal does give us mostly everything else. Yeah, I have to go after the Rest in Peace, I actually think. That will potentially give him the option. What happens if I go after Unsettled Marina here? I mean, it also takes away his Mullen. No, I have to go after the Rest in Peace. It's sad, but it is as it is. So now we're actually hit pretty hard by Rest in Peace. Let's see. Had hoped that he wasn't going to play anything. But he is. So yeah, we can't interact with the board right now due to Unsettled Marina, which is a pity because he's found his 4th land as well. Yeah. Actually, that's interesting. So you would only not cast a Collective Company here if you had a Spellqueller in hand, right? Hmm. Yeah, we're taking a lot of damage next turn. I actually have to pay 2. I thought it was 1 spell, but it is for each target. So that is actually double bad. Oh, the spell? Oh shit. Yeah, alright. Unsettled Marina, man. But still, I'm fine with the main board here. So the Blood Tripped does also tap for double blue now. But I'll probably still start off with Warrior Grave here. So that I can have Drawn Loch turn up, turn 2 up. So, yes. So we're going after the Vial, definitely. Then we're gonna kill the Druid without Drowning Loch. And then I'm gonna go with Plague Engineer going after Spirits. shouldn't be able to block that. This is actually somewhat better. Lol, 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 lol. Lol. That's insane. I mean, it's not bad for us, but it's insane that we're running into a force of negation there. And after this, we do have a counterspell up plus something else. Hopefully a Thought Scour. Like, I'm really still not happy with a Thought Scour, but it's still the best thing that we can be doing right now, since we just need to fuel our graveyard a lot. What is happening, dude? Did you just rage quit? Possibly. So this is where I am right now. With Kroxa, I actually want to go more mid-rangey and go the way of Season Pyromancer and Liliana Last Soap. Nimble doesn't really fit in that, but I think Brazen Borrow would actually be pretty good, especially because we have more discard magic again. So we could of course also choose to go after humans, but I guess Spirit's still correct. Well then. So he discarded, or he got rid of his own graveyard there. K command. K command is not the worst. It's not the worst. Alright, let's go upkeep K commands. Draw step, I mean, of course. Veil of Summer? No? Alright, just fetch, just grabbing a card here, but at this point should be pretty much over. Moonland Horns. So we can't activate it yet, and I'm not sure if I want to expose my Plague Engineer, but I probably should just to also be able to attack. Spirit. And of course, Moorland Horn is a dead card now as well. As long as this is the case, and now Liliana joins the fray. And exactly, this is exactly what I meant, right? We've played, well, 2 control decks where Liliana's okay, but here people are playing birds and noble hierarchs, and here we faced spirits, and then in last league we had a couple of matchups where Liliana was also very good. So Liliana, the last hope here, really, really shining. Really happy with the inclusion here. after such a long time. So let's meet again in round number 5. Alright, welcome to the last round here for today's Grixis Control video. Strangely enough, we haven't seen, like, all of these decks were kind of mid-rangey, kind of control-y. Well, I guess Spirits is a tempo deck, but I'm not gonna keep this. This is okay. But I haven't seen Tron yet. Like, neither Eldrazi Tron, but we have seen a lot of Once Upon a Times. So apparently now that Oko is gone, people are actually going with the second most broke card that they could find. Alright, so Primeval Titan decks here, with Field of the Dead especially, are a big problem. And he's also playing Bujuka. Block. So he should not be able to get the Azusa down next turn yet, but I'm still gonna go after the Titan, because we might not get another chance of killing it preemptively. And I actually think that we have a really bad matchup here. Really bad might be in hyperbole, but it's definitely not good. So I'm gonna kill the Azusa. Liliana Last Hope can go after a couple of Sakura Tribe stickouts if they should appear. And of course, Liliana here, if we can get her to take up for a bit. Oh, I like the Nimble, but I want to get Liliana down first, since he apparently doesn't have access to another Titan yet. So Liliana keeps, on the one hand, keeps the board relatively clean. On the other hand, we can actually outpower a Field of the Dead. No, come on. It's just unbelievable, man. It is so unfucking believable. Not even a pact, not even anything. Just a straight up Titan. And we're dead. Cool. I probably couldn't have done a whole lot anyway. Yeah, wouldn't have been able to kill it. Okay. So Season Pyromancer is definitely gonna go. Probably taking the Liliana as well. I think on the play this is alright. On the draw we might have to come up with something different. And Primeval Titan decks are definitely the best right now in the format. It beats Jund, which is probably the best mid-range deck. and it also beats all the control decks. Does have a couple of problems with burn, etc., but even there I think they can handily win. So Azusa's coming down next turn, and we don't have a counterspell, which means he's probably gonna get 1 or 2 additional lands into the battlefield. And if he does have another non-bounce hand, he will probably play that this way though. Can kill the Azusa and the damage is not the worst. Also does have an Obstinate Baloth, alright. Although I don't really care about that. Everything that keeps you from assembling your main combo is fine with me. Another Azusa. It's possible now, of course, that he does have a Veil of Summer here. Or a Mystical Dispute. Alright, there's the Terminates. So I'm going to try to counter the Baloth here that he's apparently playing. But I'm not going to let that through. Because he is probably going to fetch a Pact of Negation here. And that I really don't want. So I assume that there is a Titan coming now. It doesn't really make any sense here to go for a bounce. So I'm probably gonna play the Torpid, activate the Torpid, attack for 3, although this will take forever to actually kill him. If he had a counterspell or a Veil of Summer back up here, then he would have definitely played it differently. Talus Tracker. Yeah, I think we let that resolve. And just kill the thing before stuff happens. That is a 2-for-1, of course. He gets that clue, but not much more. So 1-2, 1-3 can't activate the torpid, so I'm also not going to do that. We don't have, well, there's a nimble in our graveyard, I guess. And therefore, I'm gonna return and discard. Could have also gone out after the Amulet of Vigor, but right now I don't think that it's... Oh, another Summoner's Pact. Interesting. So we've already gotten rid of 1 Titan, 3 Pacts. Slay a Stronghold, sure. Oh. Well, that is actually reason enough for me to keep up my counter magic. As long as there is no Cavern of Souls or Field of the Dead on the battlefield, I think. That is weird though. So what I could do here is Cryptic, bounce the Nimble to counter the ability, but I don't think that is reasonable whatsoever. If he does have a non-counterable threat here, then so be it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna counter that. And now he's also only got two more Titans in his deck. Very fun. Oh, we do have ourselves a Kroxa, which I like a lot. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Yeah, we can do that. So he's gonna rumble in for quite a bit of damage. And with Kroxa, of course, we can actually make it a pretty short. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. So now we're attacking for 12 a turn. And together with the Torpid, we just have lethal next turn. That is just insane. Yeah, I love Kroxa, guys. I just love it. And I mean, it's insanely strong in Modern, and it's probably even more powerful in Pioneer. So what we haven't seen yet is both a Field of the Dead and a Sakura Tribe Scout. But what we have seen is a Tireless Tracker, which is weird. So I'm not sure if I want to keep things as they are, but I probably do. I have a little bit of removal, we have a little bit of stuff going left and right. Multiple Kroxas. Let's hope that our opponent is indeed not having a very, very fast. Start here. No, it doesn't look like it. Foaming Image is also pretty good. I don't necessarily need to fetch shock here. But he must have something. So it's possible that he's coming around with a Tolaria West, with an Azusa here. That could be backbreaking, of course. But our Fulminator Mage will definitely go after the Golgari Rot farm. Didn't fetch here, which is already awkward. Alright. So only has one more land in hand. No more land in hand. Which means our Kolaghan's command should be pretty good here. And then replay destroy and discards the cards and 2 damage. Yes. Please this. He discarded Primeval Titan. That is insane. But I think that there's no way he's playing another Primeval Titan here this turn. Because he doesn't have the lands for that yet. Let's go with the Cryptic Command first. And otherwise just play the Nimble, I guess. Alright. Let's play the other Kroxa here. So that is going to get rid of whatever he's still having in hand. Which was a third Primeval Titan. Which also means if he does not find... no, that's actually not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. Could of course also target ourselves. Lightning Bolt and K commands. Okay. So you can get a Summoner's Fact, which I will then try to catch with an Inquisition, which he will then... Does that make sense? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If he draws a land, then he will be able to accomplish something. Yeah, I think I have to do that. So I'm forcing him to draw his other Primeval Titan, or his last Primeval Titan, so to speak. Which means that he can't do anything this turn. That is super awkward, man. That is super weird. So now he can't do anything next turn. But that's also fine with me. So I think I'm still going to go after the bounce land here. Nimble and Terminate together still mean that I'm probably able to go counter a Primeval Titan trigger. And then just kill it with a Terminate. But we need to draw another land here. I need to get Kroxa onto the battlefield. And at that point, of course, it also doesn't really matter that he has the Obstinate Baloth in hand. Like, if I have a Kroxa, what are you gonna do? Your 4/4 doesn't... Like, I don't care. We have a lot of good cards in the bin here, and we're just missing that one black source. Do you want to counter this? Honestly, don't think so. I think we can just terminate it and Thought Scour him. Thought Scouring him because I, on the one hand, don't want to hit my black source's lands, but on the other hand, I could always be hitting the 4th Titan or yeah, now that is too juicy for me. Does he have another Baloth in hand? It's possible, but how likely is that? It's really awkward. Like, we've only drawn 5 lands in 22 cards. Do we know about that Sunhome? I actually did have the last Titan in hand. The last Titan. That's 7 mana though, right? The fuck is this? Do I have to be worried? Oh no. Eight. Walking Ballista for 8. Okay. Go home. Walking Ballista, go home. Alright. Also beat the Titans. Yeah, so overall, except for this one game where we lost to a very can't stress this enough. Very unlucky top deck against RG Eldrazi's. Well, we crushed everything. And the deck ran quite smoothly, although I don't know where it is right now. Why is it always gone? Should be here. Yep. Alright. So I'll probably repurchase a couple of Brazen Borers and test those out next game. Although against Titan, of course, Nimble is way better. So there's definitely a trade-off. But these 58 really work out pretty well. Kroxa just amazing. Cascade Bluffs eases our mana base so much better than Craven Corns. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and become a patron, and then we'll see each other in the next video. See you around, guys.